Welcome to the Learning English podcast. I'm Chase, your friendly host.
And I'm Michelle. Hi, everyone. Today we have a really fascinating topic. We're going to talk about manifesting and why so many people are drawn to it.
Yeah, manifesting. I've been hearing about it everywhere lately. On TikTok, YouTube, you name it. Michelle, have you ever manifested anything successfully?
Good question. How about you, Chase? Have you ever tried manifesting something into reality?
Me personally? Not really. If I'm honest, I haven't tried seriously to manifest anything. But funny story, my girlfriend is really into manifesting. She swears she manifested an IEL 8.5 score in just 6 months.
Wow, an 8.5 on IEL. That's a great score. She believes manifesting helped her achieve that?
Absolutely. She made this whole vision board with IEL 8.5 written in bold letters, and she visualized getting that score every day. Of course, she also studied really hard, but she says imagining success kept her motivated and confident.
That's a fantastic example. It shows how manifesting can be tied in with actual hard work. Maybe we should start from the basics. What exactly is manifesting for those who aren't familiar?
Good idea. So, Michelle, how would you define manifesting? I kind of think of it as like wishing for something and making it happen, but there's more to it, right?
Definitely. In simple terms, manifesting is the idea that you can turn your goals or desires into reality by believing in them, envisioning them, and really focusing your thoughts on them. It's often described as using the power of your mind to attract what you want.
So basically, if I really want something, say a new job or a good exam score, and I keep thinking positively about it, then it will happen?
That's the general idea. A more formal definition I came across is to manifest means to imagine achieving something you want, in the belief that doing so will make it more likely to happen. In other words, you picture your goal as if it's already real, and that positive mental focus is supposed to help bring it into reality.
When you put it that way, it sounds a bit like a self-fulfilling prophecy, you know, where believing something can actually help make it true.
Exactly. It's similar to a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you truly believe you'll succeed, you might unconsciously take steps to make it happen. For example, if I wake up and manifest a productive day, telling myself I'm going to finish all my tasks, I'm more likely to actually do it because I've set my mind to that positive expectation.
That makes sense. It's like you're setting your intention and your mind kind of guides you in that direction.
Yes, manifesting often involves practices like visualization, mentally picturing what you want, affirmations, positive statements you repeat to yourself, and just maintaining an optimistic mindset. Some people even say you need to vibrate at a high frequency. That's a more mystical way to put it, meaning you should feel the emotions of already having what you desire.
High frequency vibes. I've heard that phrase. It sounds very new age, but basically, it's about positive thinking, right?
For the most part, yes. Positive thinking and confidence. However, true believers in manifesting often add a spiritual element. They might say you're working with the universe or some kind of attraction force. You might hear about the law of attraction, which is a key concept behind manifesting. The law of attraction essentially says like attracts like, meaning positive thoughts will attract positive outcomes, and negative thoughts attract negative outcomes.
Right. I've heard of that. It's like if I'm constantly worried and thinking negatively, I'll attract more negativity in my life. But if I stay positive and focus on good things will come.
Exactly. That's what manifesting enthusiasts believe. So if someone is manifesting, say, a new job, they'll keep imagining themselves in that great new job, feeling happy and grateful as if it's already real. They believe this mindset will somehow attract the opportunity to them.
It's a fascinating idea. Kind of feels a bit magical, to be honest, like you're wishing on a star, but in a more structured way.
It does sound a bit magical, and that's why some people are skeptical about it. It blurs the line between a practical goal-setting mindset and almost a metaphysical belief. But many people swear that it works for them.
Well, my girlfriend would definitely say it works. And clearly, a lot of people are into it nowadays. Which brings me to another question. Where did this whole manifesting idea come from in the first place? It seems like a modern trend, but is it actually new?
Great question. Manifesting might seem like a trendy new concept, but it actually has deep roots. The core idea that our thoughts can influence reality has been around for a long time in different forms.
Really? How far back are we talking?
Think ancient times. For instance, in Hinduism, there's the concept of karma, which basically says your intentions and actions influence your future outcomes. That's kind of an early version of you attract what you put out. Even in early Hindu texts, there are hints that thoughts and intentions can shape your destiny.
Oh, wow. I had no idea. So people have been toying with this idea for millennia?
They have in one way or another. You see similar ideas in other cultures too. Some ancient Greek philosophies and certain mystical practices in various religions also hint at the power of the mind or faith to affect reality.
That sounds a bit like prayer in religion, like having faith that something will happen.
Exactly. It's related. Praying for something and believing your prayer will be answered is not so different from manifesting. If you think about it, both involve a strong belief in an outcome that hasn't happened yet. The difference is that prayer usually involves asking a deity or higher power, whereas manifesting is often framed as asking the universe or using your own mental power.
Interesting distinction. What about the modern concept? When did manifesting become the self-help trend it is today?
The modern concept of manifesting really took shape in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. There was a movement called the New Thought movement around the late 1800s in the United States. New Thought pioneers believed strongly in the power of the mind to affect reality. They thought that positive thinking could even heal illnesses and improve people's lives. One figure, Phineas Quimby, for example, taught that if you think healthy thoughts, you could cure yourself, an early precursor to today's manifestation ideas.
So New Thought was basically teaching think positive and good things will happen over 100 years ago?
Yes, exactly. They were very much into affirmations and the idea that your mind and spirit have the power to shape your material reality. These ideas carried on through the 20th century via various self-help teachers and books. For example, the famous book Think and Grow Rich 1930s and The Power of Positive Thinking 1950s both promoted positive thinking and visualization, keeping this concept alive.
It's like each generation repackaged the same basic concept.
Pretty much. Fast forward to the early 20th century. A big moment for manifesting was the release of the book and film The Secret by Rhonda Byrne in 2006. The Secret was a huge bestseller. It sold over 30 million copies worldwide. It basically reintroduced the law of attraction to a mass audience.
I remember The Secret. It was everywhere for a while. I think even some celebrities were talking about it.
Yes. One reason The Secret blew up was because of celebrity endorsements. For example, Oprah Winfrey famously promoted it and said she herself uses manifesting principles for her success. When someone like Oprah tells people this worked for me, it definitely sparks curiosity.
Oprah's stamp of approval can make anything popular, right?
Exactly. So The Secret introduced manifesting to millions of people who maybe hadn't heard of the law of attraction before. After that, manifesting became a staple topic in the self-help and wellness world. And it just kept growing from there.
So from ancient karma to New Thought philosophy to The Secret and Oprah, that's quite a journey. No wonder it's so widespread now. Speaking of now, it seems like manifesting has gotten really popular again the last few years, especially among younger people.
You're absolutely right. Manifesting has seen a big surge in popularity in just the past few years. There are a few reasons for that.
Let's hear them. I'm curious why suddenly everyone's talking about it again.
One major reason is social media. Platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube have tons of content on manifesting. On TikTok in particular, the hashtag manifesting has gone crazy viral. There are over 100 million posts about manifesting on TikTok, and probably billions of views of those videos. When you have so many people sharing success stories or techniques, it creates a huge trend.
I've seen those. Like, someone will post a video saying I manifested my dream car or how I manifested my soulmate, and they get millions of likes. It makes others want to try it too.
Exactly. It's very shareable content. People love stories, especially success stories. If someone claims they manifested something amazing, it grabs attention, and then others want to jump in and try it for themselves.
It's almost like a viral challenge, but a long-term one where everyone is trying to manifest their own goals.
True. Another reason is the timing. Think about the last few years. We've had a pretty tough time globally, especially with the COVID-19 pandemic, economic uncertainty, and a lot of stress. During the early months of the pandemic, interest in manifesting spiked a lot. I read that Google searches for manifesting increased by over 600% in the first few months of 2020.
600%? That's huge.
I know, massive. It seems when things feel out of control, people look for something they can control. Manifesting gave many people a sense of hope and some control or agency over their lives during those uncertain times. If you were stuck at home in lockdown, why not try to manifest a better future? Or at least daydream in a positive way, right?
That does make sense. It was a pretty helpless time for a lot of us. Clinging to a positive vision of the future could be really comforting.
Yes, it can be very empowering. Also, we're in an era where wellness, self-improvement, and mental health are big focuses. People are more open to meditation, visualization, journaling, all things that tie in nicely with manifesting. So manifesting fits into that whole wellness and self-care movement. It's like a mental self-care practice for some.
And it's free to do. Anyone can try it. You don't need special equipment, just your mind and maybe a notebook. I guess that makes it even more appealing.
Definitely. And let's not forget the continued celebrity influence. Even famous figures like pop singer Dua Lipa or some Olympic athletes have talked about manifesting their success. When people see celebrities attributing achievements to manifesting, it sparks even more interest.
It kind of normalizes it. Like if they did it, maybe I should give it a shot.
Right. All those factors together, social media virality, the need for hope in tough times, more focus on mindset and self-help, plus celebrity buzz, have made manifesting super popular again. It's gotten so big that the Cambridge Dictionary named manifest, as in the manifesting trend, its word of the year for 2024.
Wow, that's official. Word of the year. I guess manifesting really manifested itself into the public consciousness.
It sure did. So it's clearly popular. But the big question is, why do so many people believe in manifesting? I mean, what's the draw? Do people think it's literal magic, or is it something else?
Yeah, I'm curious about that too. What makes people convinced that manifesting actually works? From the outside, it can sound a bit too good to be true.
There are several reasons why people believe in it. One reason is personal experience. If someone tries manifesting and then achieves their goal, they'll often credit the practice. Like your girlfriend, she worked hard, but she also truly believes that her visualization and positive mindset played a key role in getting that IELTS 8.5.
True. And because it worked for her, she's even more confident it can work for other things.
Exactly. When people see what they think is a success from manifesting, it reinforces their belief. And humans naturally tend to remember successes more than failures. This is sometimes called confirmation bias. We notice the times it seems to work and might ignore the times it doesn't.
Right. Like if I try to manifest 5 things and only one happens, I might think, wow, manifesting works, and not really dwell on the 4 times it didn't.
Precisely. Another reason is that manifesting is usually a very positive, hopeful practice. It feels good to do it. It's almost like daydreaming about a happy future. That by itself can make people want to believe in it because it's uplifting. It gives a sense of purpose and control. Even if deep down someone isn't 100% sure it's real magic, they might still do it because it motivates them and makes them feel better.
I get that. There were times I was job hunting, and I kept telling myself, you'll get something soon. Just imagine the call coming. It kept me sane and optimistic, even though I don't know if I was technically manifesting.
Exactly. It overlaps a lot with just keeping a positive attitude. And we know a positive attitude can help in many ways. If you're optimistic, you're more likely to notice opportunities and to persevere when things get tough. In that sense, manifesting can work kind of like a self-help technique. You train your brain to focus on opportunities rather than obstacles.
So even without any mystical universal attraction at work, just believing in yourself and having a clear goal can push you to act differently and get better results.
Yes, many psychologists would say that's the real power behind manifesting. It's not that thinking by itself magically pulls things into your life, but thinking in a focused, positive way makes you more likely to do the things that lead to success. It's like you mentioned self-fulfilling prophecy earlier. If I'm convinced I'm going to do well, I'll likely prepare and behave in ways that help me do well. And I end up making the belief come true.
That makes a lot of sense. So people believe in manifesting either because they feel it personally worked for them or simply because it makes them feel good and hopeful, which is valuable in itself.
Yes, community reinforcement also plays a role. When you go online and see thousands of posts like I manifested my dream house or manifesting changed my life, it creates a bandwagon effect. It's easy to think, well, all these people are saying it works, so maybe it does.
And some of those stories are really compelling, even if we might not know the full story behind them. It's inspiring at least.
True. Now, to be fair, not everyone is on board. There are plenty of skeptics and critics of manifesting too.
Oh yeah, I've heard friends say it's nonsense or just pseudoscience.
Right. Critics point out that manifesting can sound like pseudoscience. Basically, something scientific sounding but not proven by real evidence. There isn't concrete scientific proof that simply thinking about something causes it to materialize. If someone believes they can cure an illness just by thinking positively, that's obviously not medically sound. And if you rely only on thoughts without putting in any effort, it can backfire.
Exactly. You can't just sit on the couch and manifest a job without actually applying for jobs or learning the skills.
Yes. In fact, most sensible manifesting gurus will tell you that you do have to take action. They often say you should meet the universe halfway. Think positive, but also work towards your goal. The danger is if people think they can just wish for something and then do nothing, they'll likely end up disappointed.
Or even worse, they might blame themselves for things that aren't their fault. Like, if things go wrong, someone might think, did I attract this bad outcome by having a negative thought? That can get unhealthy because life is more complicated than that. Bad things happen sometimes for reasons outside our control, not because we manifested something wrong.
I'm glad you brought that up. So there's a balance. But overall, it's easy to see why people are drawn to manifesting. It offers hope. It can encourage a proactive mindset. And there are enough success stories to keep the belief alive.
Well summed up, Michelle. It's really a mix of psychology, hope, and a bit of mystical thinking. And for many, even if they're not 100% sure a cosmic force is at work, they figure, hey, it can't hurt to try.
Yeah, what's the harm in thinking positive and visualizing good outcomes? As long as you're also realistic and put in the work, it seems like a win-win. Exactly. Now, for our listeners out there, what can you take away from this? Whether you completely believe in manifesting or you're a bit skeptical, there are some practical aspects that can be useful.
Maybe we can share a few tips or advice on how someone might try manifesting in a healthy, sensible way, especially for goals like improving English or any personal goal.
So, if you're curious about trying manifesting, here are a few tips that might help. And don't worry, it's simpler than it sounds. First, try to get really clear on what you want. Be specific. It could be something like, I want to score 7.5 on the IEL, or I want to get a job at a tech company. When your goal is specific, your mind knows exactly what to focus on. Next, visualize it. Spend a few quiet moments each day imagining that you've already reached your goal. Picture the scene in your head. Where are you? How do you feel? Who's around you? The more vivid it is, the more your brain connects with it like it's already happening. Another thing you can try is using positive affirmations. These are short, encouraging phrases you repeat to yourself. Something like, I'm becoming more fluent in English every day, or I'm confident and ready for my exam. It might feel a bit strange at first, but these little statements can really boost your motivation and self-belief over time. Now, here's a big one. You also have to take action. It's great to stay positive, but don't forget to put in the work. If you're aiming for a high exam score, then study regularly. If you're trying to find a new job, update your CV and start applying. Be open to unexpected chances too. You never know what opportunities might show up when you're ready for them. And finally, be patient with yourself. Things don't always happen instantly. You might face setbacks or delays, and that's completely normal. Try not to see those as failures. They're just part of the journey. Keep that positive mindset and be flexible if you need to shift your approach along the way.
I love those tips. They combine the positive mindset of manifesting with practical effort. It's like dream it and do it.
Exactly. Dream it and do it. Also, remember, manifesting is a personal thing. Some people like making a vision board with pictures, others prefer writing in a journal. Do whatever keeps you inspired. And don't get discouraged if things don't happen immediately or exactly how you imagined. Sometimes you achieve your goals in unexpected ways or on a different timeline, and that's okay.
And even if you're not totally sold on the mystical side of manifesting, doing these things won't hurt. Worst case, you've spent time focusing on your goals, which is always good. And best case, you achieve what you want and feel like you gave yourself a mental boost along the way.
Well said.
By the way, we've used a lot of useful vocabulary today while talking about manifesting.
That's true. Words like skeptical or empowering came up. We'll put together a list of some of these IEL level words and their meanings for you.
Great. But before we get to that list, let's give our final thoughts and wrap up the episode.
To sum up, manifesting is all about the power of mindset. People are drawn to it because it offers hope. Whether you believe it's the universe helping you out or just your own effort fueled by positive thinking, having a clear vision of what you want and staying optimistic certainly can help you move toward your goals.
And even if nothing mystical is happening, it still makes you feel more empowered and focused. And I think that's why it resonates with so many people.
Absolutely. All right. I think that about does it for our chat on manifesting.
To all our listeners, thanks so much for hanging out with us today. We hope you found this topic as interesting as we did.
If you enjoyed this episode, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We really appreciate your support, and we'd love to hear your feedback.
Yes, let us know in the comments if you've ever tried manifesting or if you plan to. We would love to hear your stories and thoughts.
Until next time, keep learning and stay positive.
Bye, everyone.